Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, going to be taking a look in the Soulforge, telling you what I think is good and bad in there, showing you a good raid boss team and a Underspire team as well. What's this? What's this? Oh, it's one of these. Okay, these are really straightforward events. Just go over this ever so quickly because it is really easy. In this case, you use red troops to fight event battles, and you earn points, and you spend them points in the shop. But make sure you do it daily because you only get three free battles a day, so just pick whichever one is the level for you. If you're powerful in the game and you can handle the higher levels, then you should definitely do that. Red, Tesla would be great for this. If you've got the troops, I'm just going to go for a good old 3x Tech Shaker with the Wand of Stars, say, for example. First things that come to mind very quickly. We'll do, let's bung that to the top. +2 anything, we'll go +2 blue, because I like blue. There it is. Class, anything with 50% mana start. We'll do Frostmage or Geomancer is fine. Should have picked brown then for my colours, because I'll be picking brown to get the rock solid barrier, and you just do battles. Very easy. I'll just do one battle just to show it. It's a mini castles in the sand guide at the same time built into this video. Not bad, eh? Let's just do that. Oh, should have actually done. Got the other Tech Shaker charge first, but the way this team works, it got done anyway. And you complete those battles. Like I say, Tesla would be great for this as well. And you earn points, in this case, seashells. I've done that as well. Excellent stuff. And you go to the event shop and spend your points. I always suggest saving up for the new troop and the pet. In this case, the Sandstone Sentinel. Damage to an enemy boosted by yellow and brown gems. Gain 10 to all skills. If the enemy dies, triple the amount gained. Well, that could be interesting. I'll have a proper look at that a bit later. But always worth saving up for them, and then always worth getting the pet as well, because it always adds extra skill points to that troop. So really good. And if you're a newer player, certainly worth doing these daily battles and making sure you pick up an orb of power at the same time. So yeah, not too bad at all. Right, on to the actual video then. That was a little bonus part. Right, let's crack on and do this weekly event troop first. The Bloommanity. Interesting name. Charm an enemy. Crikey, not seen the charm mechanic. Wanted a game for a while. Then convert all red gems to submerged gems. So charm an enemy. That makes a enemy attack their own troops, the ones that are directly above and below. It can be actually very powerful if you're against a really strong team, because their own power basically works against it. Then convert all red gems to submerged gems. That's converting red to blue with the effect of submerged. So again, highly effective against teams that use red. So yeah, not too bad. Not brilliant. Because it is dependent upon how powerful the enemy is to how effective it is. If the enemy's rubbish, then that's going to be rubbish. If the enemy's amazing and they've buffed himself to bits, then this is going to be amazing. So for that reason, we'll give it an all-round solid-ish, but average still, 5 out of 10. Anyway, police officer. Anything you say can and will be held against you. Me. Boobs. And with that, we crack on to the Soulforge. Oh my goodness. Ah, yes. Oh yes. You know it's right, but it's so wrong at the same time. Right, so I'm not going to go over all the ones that are here all the time, like Eye of Zathanos, Shattered Blade, Broken Guard, etc. But first up is Coral Bow. But don't get it from here, get it from the Raid Boss shop. It'll be a better way to buy it, because you buy it with gems, not diamonds, and you get the tiers and the sigils and stuff at the same time. So much better to get it from there. It does damage +3 to the first 2 enemies boosted by Merlantis allies. So a basic damage with boost weapon there. So I'm not going to go over all these ones that are here all the time, but Nature Staff does damage to an enemy and double damage if there's a leaf storm, then create a leaf storm. And it does have tangling as one of his upgrades, which is one of the better upgrades, which means it's going to entangle the top troop when cast. And it also has enchanting. So yeah, not bad. Not bad, but a bit specialist. Make sure you got a use for lots of green, because it just creates a leaf storm every single time as well. But uses green itself, so not bad. The damage could be better, but hey, it's a basic weapon, but it's alright in the right team. Iron Wave. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by merfolk allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and 6 brown gems for each merfolk ally. Uses red and yellow, creates blue and brown, so make sure you've got at least a couple of troops in your team that are merfolks that use blue and or brown, otherwise you're making all that mana for nothing. It is very similar, but uses blue and green Merlantis allies, but uses yellow and purple, so you've got to make sure you got some blue and green Merlantis allies in your team to make the most of that juicy mana. Trident of Merlantis. This is the anti-Merlantis weapon in a way. Remove all blue gems with no effect, but blue is the colour that Merlantis troops like the most, so by taking it away, you make it harder for them to get charged, in theory. Then, excuse me, deal damage to an enemy boosted by gems removed if the enemy is from Merlantis or if the battle is in Merlantis. Do double damage. And it's one of the cheap ones as well to get crafted at a mere 75 diamonds. And next up we have Wand of Stars. Say it all the time, but if you haven't got it, just get it. If there's nothing essential in the Soulforge which is going to use your other resources, then get the Wand of Stars. It's absolutely fantastic weapon. Absolutely awesome. You just get it. You've probably seen it many times. You've probably got killed by it many times. It's very, very good. Best in the game. Doomed Dirk. Deal damage to the last enemy, boosted by blue gems. Sounds restrictive, that damage being sort of set on the last enemy with no choice, but it can be handy if they're like hidden or they're stealthy or something like that, because it's still going to hit them. And if they have a doom, deal double damage, and there's a 3% chance per tempering level to kill the enemy, which is extremely low, and even when fully tempered up, it's still not that great. I'm not a fan of these kind of weapons, so it's kind of just, if it's here and you've got the diamonds to spare, and you get it, you might use it now and again, but nothing too great about it. 3 Graves, a nice explodey summony weapon. Explode magic +1 blue gems, grant a random status effect to all Merlantis allies. Then summon a Merlantis troop. Do like them, even now, sometimes so handy. Even at high level to have a summon in a team can make all the difference to your survivability, can make teams that the enemy fight against more awkward to play when they keep on getting summoned and things like that, and managing and status effects too. It's all good. What else we got? We got a Sharp Reef. Damage to an enemy boosted by blue allies and undead allies, so basic damage with a boost again, and that is our lot. So nothing really essential from there today, so if you want the Wand of Stars and you've got enough stuff to craft it, I thoroughly recommend crafting Wand of Stars today. Absolutely amazing weapon. Alright, let's crack on to the troops then. As ever, pop through all these summoning stones ones, have a quick look at who's in there. You're particularly looking for anybody that's a goblin. Goblins are always useful, and anybody that starts with a full mana, which is really cool. But yeah, nobody's jumping out. It's particularly amazing from there today. Whatever. Right, so onto the troops. Amethyalus is the dragon on rotation this week. This is a gem dragon. So if you're still trying to get Diamantina, and this is the last dragon you need, it's probably worth going about it this way, because you're guaranteed to get it. If you keep on opening those eggs and you keep on getting duplicates, it can be really frustrating, especially how long it takes to get Dragonite to have another roll. The way I'll describe it is it's like rolling the dice. When you only need one dragon left, a lot of people complain and say, oh, it keeps on giving me duplicates, it's not fair. But the thing is, when you only need one dragon left out of the 6, it's like rolling the dice. 6-sided dice and needing a 6. Sometimes you can sit there doing it again and again for ages, and it'll take ages to get 6. And other times you'll get it straight away. But the difference is, with this, you have to collect, Dragonite for ages and ages again before you can have another roll of the dice. So that's why I suggest saving all that time and pain, and just, if you've got Dragonite, just guarantee getting it if you want, in this case, Diamantina. Right, onto the standard mythics. First one up is Leo. Not that great. Does damage to an enemy and gain the same amount of armor, both boosted by all enemy magic. So the higher the enemy's magic, they're really powerful, the bigger that boost is going to be, and it can deal a significant amount of damage and give you a big armor boost at the same time, but it's just not the kind of thing that I like myself, personally, the way I go about creating teams and wanting my teams to work. It does have reduced damage from spells by 25% and reduced damage from scars by 40%, and gives that armor boost to yellow allies as well, but yeah, it's just not that great for me. Who is next? Kurandara, a standard version. Does damage to an enemy boosted by Doom Skulls, then convert yellow gems to Doom Skulls and conjure a Doomstorm. So pretty good. You can get that damage to an enemy, which is going to soften them up. And it's got that boost by Doom Skulls as well. Then convert yellow gems to Doom Skulls. You can check that first, make sure you're getting a full match and an extra turn to follow up with, and that damage is going to add to that initial damage you first done. And conjures a Doomstorm as well, which can be lethal. Is impervious, gets bonus red, and has a 50% chance to curse all enemies when matching 4 or more gems. Like some people actually prefer this than the enraged Kurandara version, just because of that Curse of Ruin. 50% chance to curse all enemies when matching 4 or more gems, which you get 4 match quite often in this game. But enraged Kurandara has only a 40% chance to curse all enemies, but when turn begins. But he's invulnerable, so it's each to their own, but still a good version of Kurandara. Who is next? Doomclaw. Damage to an enemy boosted by enraged allies with separate 25% chances to devour the next enemy above and below. Immune to devour itself, gains 1 magic for each brown ally, and enrage a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches. It's like it's one of those things. It can be terrible. It can be one of the worst in the game if that 25% chance never fails to come, never works. If you're lucky and you get 2 of them, they both come in, it's like, whoa, that was amazing. So depends upon his mood. The fact you got 2 25% chances means every other cast you should get at least 1 devour, in theory. But yeah, Doomclaw, not the great. Oh crikey, I was gonna say not the greatest, and then and then War comes along. I think this is like the first mythic in the game, and it's really showing. It's like the power creep in the game has left him way behind. Burns all enemies, not a big deal anymore unless you get damage boost from burning enemies. And then deal magic +1 damage to an enemy boosted by my attack and gain an extra turn if the enemy dies. Yeah, that is a pretty poor spell these days. A 50% armor chance to ignore armor with skull damage is still pretty good. Reflect 24% of skull damage, not great. And gain 3 attack at the start of each turn is just too slow these days to get his attack up. So yeah, War is unfortunately showing his age. But let's go over the legendaries ever so quickly. What we got? Crimson Bat, really good. True damage to all enemies. I'd rather have Crimson Bat than War. And gain 16 life. Deal double skull damage to wounded enemies. Has Undying. And deal double skull damage versus Divine. So yeah, that true damage against all enemies and gain life is pretty decent. Glitter Claw, not too bad either. Deal magic-based damage to a random enemy. Transform all blue gems to green to boost the effect, and Fairy Fire all enemies. So if you can get to cast this twice quickly, that damage to an enemy is going to be boosted because of the Fairy Fire, and gains enchant when matching red gems. So you do have to pair this with a red using troop in your team, because otherwise you're collecting red just for the enchant, which is silly. And it does gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. So I do like a bit of Glitter Claw now and again. But Divinia is very, very good. It's not quite up there with the Teslas and the Yao Guais and the Web Spinners of essential legendaries to get when you see him in the Soulforge if you're a new player, but it's very, very close. Explodes all red gems, which gains mana for the team. Cleanse all allies, and, excuse me, give them magic +1 life. I mean, that's pretty good on its own. But look at Dragon's Blessing. Cause a random positive status effect on a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches. That is really, really good as well. And you'd be surprised how good that is. And Mana Shield ensures that she pretty much gets her mana and keeps it, because it's immune to Mana Burn, Mana Drain, and Mana Steal. Divinia, absolutely fantastic. Wrath, super dangerous. Transform blue gems to brown, yellow to skulls, enrage all allies, and burn all enemies. So yeah, it can be absolutely devastating, and reflects 25% of skull damage as well as explode 2 random gems when I deal skull damage. That is pretty decent and all. Is that the last one? Was that the last one? Was that 4? Didn't seem like 4. Or have I just lost count of what I'm doing? 1, 2... Oh yeah, click claw and thingy. Right, so who is the... Crikey, who is the mythic of the week out of this motley crew? You got War, just terrible. Doomclaw, generally terrible, but can be okay if you get lucky. Kurandara, pretty decent. And Leo. Well, 3 of them are pretty bad overall, to be honest. So it's going to have to go to Kurandara. Very good spell. Damage to an enemy boosted by Doom Skulls. Make sure you get a 4 match when you convert these yellow gems to Doom Skulls. Doesn't use yellow, so that's good. It's powerful against a yellow using team as well. It takes away the colour that they like. And conjures a Doomstorm, so can be very powerful. And Impervious is great. Gets bonus mana for its colour, which is red. And the Curse of Ruin, 50% chance to curse all enemies when matching 4 or more gems. Curse is becoming more important in the game these days, so yeah, Kurandara, very good, and my mythic of the week. And now onto the raid boss team. And look at this, we're fighting a Fiery Dago Nath, not a Zolgoth or a Sitharax in sight. Oh, it should be interesting, at least they're changing up a bit, which is good. Right, so interesting, but you must use the event captain Caspian in your team to get that ×2 magic and ×2 score. Is for this event only, but essential that you do that. And you get that from the shop. Just buy the tiers you require. You get Caspian guaranteed at tier 2. So grab him from there. But I do recommend you get at least tier 3 to make sure you get the weapon as well. Even if you don't use it today, it's still nice to have extra weapons dealing damage to the first 2 enemies boosted by Merlantis allies. Now, when you get your Caspian at tier 2, there's 2 ways to get it to Mythic. You don't need to get it to Mythic. It's not absolutely essential. It just makes it a lot easier. You can either buy enough tiers to get enough of him guaranteed to get him to Mythic, or you can get a tier 2, back out, use a couple of Orbs of Ascension to get him to Mythic level that way, and then you're good to go. But it's not absolutely essential. You can actually do pretty well with him at a standard level, but make sure you pick him up anyway. So tier 1, 2 and 3, like I say, essential. But if you get more, then more is more, and you get other good stuff at the same time. But onto the team. It's one of those teams that almost self-picks itself, because we got a limited amount of troops to pick from it. I mean, there are some good ones, but I do like to avoid the mythics, as people know. I like to try and help people out by creating effective no mythic teams for this. But Aquaticus is really, really good. Submerge all allies when matching 4 or more gems, and does that light splash damage to 3 random enemies and explode half the gems on the board. Really good. She may be a good addition to add in later on if things slow down a little bit. But for the most part, this is going to be a really, really good team to get going on with this. Triton, all merfolk allies start with 50% mana and summons an Ice Storm at the start of battle, which is useful for this team because it's blue. Then deals magic-based heavy splash damage to an enemy boosted by blue gems. Then give all merfolk 4 magic, which is going to increase their magic. So he's kind of like a given straight away, because it's always nice to have that 50% mana start. You have to have this one, as we know about, who does damage to an enemy, and we can use him to finish off that new, hairy, funny, spidery-looking boss thing. Dago Nath with that Godslayer trait. That's only the skull damage on that Godslayer trait. You don't actually need that, so if you're a newer player, it's not actually essential to have all those traits, but it is essential to have him in the team, because then you automatically get at least that 3 times damage. So he has to go in the team. Now, I always like to do a damage to all option in these kind of teams, especially for the early stages. Just gets it done nice and quick, and this is pretty much the only real option that's there that's non-mythic. So magic +1 damage to all enemies and jumble the enemy team. If there's a storm, deal 10 more damage. Then create an ice storm, so it will cause a storm when it casts. But remember, we get the ice storm at the start of battle from Triton anyways, which is again why this works as a natural pick for this team. And that only leaves a weapon, and weapon wise there wasn't a huge amount of fantastic choice, and people know how I like my explodey summony weapons, so I went with the 3 graves. Explode, a magic +1 blue gems, grant a random status effect to all Merlantis allies. Then summon a Molantis troop. Again, really, really useful if you're a newer player. If you lose your Treviamus, then you can cast this, get mana, bring in a summon, and get status effects at the same time. So yeah, this should be a nice team for this. Banner wise, you're going to go with a +2 blue, +1 green, -red slime banner from Dripping Caverns. 3 of our troops use blue, 2 of them use green, and they're the top 2. So why not have them colours? We're going to be in Tidecaller class for this. A really good class, especially with this kind of team, obviously. Merfolk gain 2 life, submerge myself when I take damage is useful against damage to all troops, and explode a blue gem when matching 4 or more gems is pretty decent as well. And talent trees, we'll go for a bit of snap freeze, we'll go for a bit of purification or insulated, your choice, but I do like to have purification. Means that we've got no natural cleanse on this team. Anti-magic sphere, reduce damage from spells by 20% is nice to have. Watery binding, all blue allies gain 4 life, and we've got 3 of them, and we don't need that because we get a 50% start anyway because of Triton. Deluge! Submerge a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches is nice. And Water Mastery is good to have as well, as is Aquatic Glory. So yeah, all these things work really, really well with this team. So let's jump in there, have a couple of battles on the lower levels, and we'll jump forward and see what we can do when things get a tad nastier. So Treviamus is nearly up already. In fact, it will be now. So it's going to be very, very straightforward. On these early stages, I'd go 3 times nicer medals for this if you've got them to boost up the damage of all our troops. Boosting up the damage of the damage dealers and boosting up the amount of gems you explode when you cast the weapon. I mean, look at that. That's just filth. Part of that is because I've got the 50% mana start, of course, and we've also got the enchantment potion and potion of explosion. It all helps to get things done in, you know, really, really good time. I'll just do one more of this stage maybe, because we'll jump forward. You can see how straightforward this is on the early stages. And the bottom 2 troops are charged up as well, which again can wreak absolute havoc on the enemy team. Right, let's just do this one, then we'll jump forward a bit. This is way too easy. Right, I've jumped forward a bit to when the boss starts appearing. There he is. Look, the hairy spider, crab, lobster, demon, snake, eel thing. Anyway, let's see how it goes. In fact, I know where it goes. I just beat him up a minute ago and it was really easy. Still getting the mana really quick. Still getting the first cast off really quick and still wrecking the team really quick. And the bottom 2 are still waiting to dish out damage as well. So this is going to work really well even if you're not wiping the enemy out in one go like I am at the moment. Still getting charged most of the time straight away. Somebody survived! What the heck? Be gone, foul spawn! They probably didn't say that when they bashed him around the bonds. Would have been funny if they did. Get mana so quick for this team, it is nutty. Dish out the damage. And the good thing about this team is you can then dish out some splash damage with this fella. And finish him off with a skull hit if one's around, or if not, then whoever was charged up, because there's bound to be someone. And even if you have to double cast, then it's not going to still take long to get your team up for this team. Get your allies up for this team, rather. But it's important to take out the boss when you can. But we can do that with the splash damage. Because sometimes you're bound to get like a skull hit sometimes. Take out one enemy straight away at the top. So that's where you can use that splash damage to target the middle enemy out of the 3 remaining to maximise the damage. So yeah, just do a couple more because this is very straightforward. Soften them up. Dish out the splash damage. Do it on this one at the second from last to make sure you take out the boss if he's at the bottom. If he's been moved to the top, then take out the second one here. So you, again, take out the most dangerous enemy first. Then finish off. Or you can obviously finish off with the Godslayer. But all the while you're going to wipe out with the splash damage and then the single troop damage, then you can keep it pretty straightforward. So again, not going to be quite ready that next round, so we'll take out him first to guarantee he's gone. We can explode gems, charging up the team. There we go, and there's the splash damage. Pick your poison. Whoever you want to bash around the bonds first. With your hairy, pokey trident, probably. Right, let's make it the last one. Very straightforward to use. But we'll have to multicast at some points later on. If you see skull damage and stuff, then it can be a good idea to take it to soften the enemy up. But we'll certainly grab things like that one there. Thank you very much. So you can soften them up now. So when we dish out that damage in a second with our damage to all troop. See, he's gone submerged, but it doesn't matter. But he is getting close to being charged, so make sure you take him out first. No mucking around. Make sure you use the God Slayer. See you later, mate. No hairy prong pushing for you. Whatever that might be. Right, and I think that will do for the raid boss team. Now onto the Underspire team. Going to keep this fairly short as well, because it's very, very similar to the raid boss team. All we've done is swap out the God Slayer Caspian for Leviathan. It's like going to be good for this. Dispels all enemies and deals magic +1 damage to them, boosted by blue gems, and knock the first enemy to last place. Does submerge itself on 4 or 5 gem matches as well as being immune to devour and stun. So pretty cool, and that damage boosted by blue gems is handy, because if we get to cast this, we summon a, or rather it's at the beginning of the battle. We get an ice storm at the start, so that damage will be boosted by those extra blue gems at the same time. So yeah, very, very straightforward. Very similar tactics to the raid boss team, but often we don't get the explosion at the start, of course. So we have to collect our mana rather than have it given it to us very, very easily. But still, early stages, you can just charge up Triviamus or Leviathan, whoever you've got. Aquaticus, again, would be really good for this, if you've got Aquaticus. Let's pick up our free stuff from Matey Boy, Mr. T Wannabe. Here's your lantern, you crazy fool! He's probably said, before going off to look in the mirror, thinking what a wonderful green sludgy sight he must be. Right. Oh, well, I don't need it, but I'll just get it anyway. Some 4 matches, you just feel like you have to get them sometimes, especially a 5 match. Even if you don't need the gold or whatever, you know it's theoretically going to take you longer in gold earning to actually go and make that match, like a couple of seconds to move over there, collect it, make your move, carry on with the game. In theory, for a lot of players now, it's like the rate you get gold per game, you technically waste time doing that. It's actually worth less. So you don't actually need to make that 4 match at all, but you still feel like you just, I have to have it. I have to. Thank you. We'll get that just because it's there, and we'll get that because it's going to make a blue at the same time. Happy days. Let's give Leviathan a bit of action, why not? Alright, so let's just do one more, because it's very similar to the last team. Very similar tactics, just not as Speedy Gonzalez on the way, riba, at the beginning, because of the lack of the potion of enchantment and stuff like that, and the explosion. But there it is, there's the video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.